Hello friends, my name is Gurjeet. Today I will be talking about one of the very burning issues regarding residency, that which country we should opt, Australia or Canada. It's quite difficult, and I will try to be very honest in my next 5 minutes presentation. What are the benefits if you migrated to Australia, or what are the benefits if you migrated to Canada? So I have divided this small presentation into the point system, and let's begin. So let's talk about the job opportunity first. When we talk about a job opportunity, so there are a few parameters which we like to talk about and which I have considered. Let's say, for example, the first parameter which I'm talking about is unemployment rate. Unemployment rate by 2019 in Australia it is 5%, and in Canada it is 5.8%. So there is hardly a small difference, but I would like to give this point to Australia. So Australia is leading here 1-0 from Canada. The next point is monthly income. The wage rate in Australia is terrifically very beautiful, so very high, and in Canada it is comparatively low. So I would again like to give Australia 1 point. So Australia is leading 2-0 here. The third point is about a job opportunity. So job opportunity, because Australia gives a lot of white collar and blue collar jobs, wherein comparative to Canada has a more white collar jobs. So I would again give here Australia 1 more point. So Australia is comparatively clearly leading 3-0 when it comes to Canada. There is a small difference between Canada and Australia, but I have to declare one as a winner. So the work culture in Australia, it is more about a UK style English or UK style work culture, where on the Canada it is a the US style English and work culture. So I would give again both the party 1 point. So Australia leads in job opportunity 5-2. So Canada have 2 points for the because in the USA and in the work culture, because in Australia it is UK style, in Canada it is US style. So I've given both the country 1 point each. So I'm trying to be fair as much as possible so that you can choose your country of your destination clearly. So the next slide or the next topic which I will talk about is the cost of living, which we all need to understand it. Now the cost of living, the first thing is I would like to talk about Australia and Canada is buying in a house. Like as an Asians, we always very fond of buying in a house initially, the moment we are settled down in Canada or Australia after a year. So buying in a house in Canada, the down payment is quite less and houses are quite cheap. So I would give Canada a clear ahead here. So I'll give 1 point to Canada, and Australia is a 0. Electricity and gas connections. Electricity and gas connections are also cheaper in Canada than Australia. So I would again like to give Canada 1 point rather than to Australia. So the Canada is leading when it comes to the cost of living 2-0. Now the third is car insurance. Obviously in our day-to-day life, the car insurance we cannot neglect, because we need to have a car, because both places in both Canada and Australia, it's a huge countries. We need to travel every day. So we are going to have our own cars or own conveyance. So the insurance in Canada is quite expensive, which is equivalent to almost 12-month insurance to Australia. So Australia here leads. So Australia will get a 1 point. So now the score line is Canada 2, Australia 1. Now we'll go to the transportation cost. In the transportation cost, again the Australia has a lot of cheaper transportation available for its public comparative to Canada. It's not that Canada have a quality transportation, but Australia gives little an edge here, so and little more convenient and cheaper. So I'll give this point again to the Australia. So both the countries are tie up when it comes to cost of living 2-2. So now let's go to the healthcare and education system. In healthcare and education system, the healthcare, the first thing is because I would like to talk about the public and private healthcare. The Australia has a public and a private healthcare, and This this means the Australia in Canada, the people have to depend on only the government healthcare. It means the public healthcare. So it means long queues. So it means the Australia is having an edge here. So Australia have 1 point, and where only Canada has a 0 point. As I was mentioning, that Australia is leading in the education also, because the Australia has more than 5 to 6 universities which has been listed in top 100 ranking of the world universities, where in Canada it is only 4. It's maybe just a difference of 2 universities, but still Australian, if I talk about the Australian top 40 universities, they are in top 400, where comparative to Canada has little to catch up. So it doesn't mean that Canada doesn't have a great education system, but we have to compare the best 2 nations, so we are just comparing it. So Australia, when it comes to healthcare and education, Australia is a clear leader of 3 zeros. So the lead is there because the healthcare, the dependency on the government, the not long queues, and the top universities are listed. So Australia is a clear leader when it comes to Canada. The other factors which is very important when I've been considering between Australia and Canada is the outdoor life. If you are crazy about beaches, or you really wanted to go and you are a sporty person and really wanted to go out, then Australia is a lovely place to be there. So you will get 1 point, where Canada is in a winter, you have a lot of mountains, so it's like a 0 there. Proximity to US and Europe, definitely Canada has an edge here, because it's a border, it's a neighboring country for Canada, especially the US, and Europe is also not very far away. So I will give 1 point to Canada here. So both the Australia and Canada here is 1-1 on the other important factors. Then it comes to the Asian countries, because as we all know, the Asian countries are developing countries and shopping paradise, whether to go to Thailand or Malaysia or to China. There, if you really are shopping, your wife is a shopping crazy girl, so definitely you really need to get down to the Asian countries to shop, or you want to come back to your home country like India, or wherever you've been staying in Bangladesh or Pakistan. So the Australia is little near, so I would like to give here, proximity to the Asian countries, I would like to give it to Australia 1 point, and Canada is a 0. When it comes to a little bit rational, there are few incidents in Australia, but in the very far suburbs. Rather than if we like to talk about Canada, Canada is made of immigrants, so it's a very beautiful country. So I would again give it 1 point to Canada here. So Australia 0 and Canada. So here both the countries are on 2 points each. The passport ranking. In passport ranking, Australia is ranked 7th, and 161 countries allow on-arrival visa to Australian citizen. Or on the other hand side, Canada is ranked 4th, 164 countries allow that. So the difference is a little bit, but I would like to give this number to Canada. So Canada is leading here. On the other hand side, when it comes to the climate conditions, there are UV rays which has been affected in the area of Perth more, not in much part of the Australia. So on the other hand side, there are very harsh winters in Canada, because I love, I'm a very outgoing person, and I like the weather of what India have. So I would like to give this number on my personal experience to Australia rather than to Canada. So the Canada and Australia right now are almost equal, and Canada is actually leading here. But if I talk about immigration friendly, so definitely Canada again lead by 1. So if we talk about overall, both the countries are equal by 4 points each. So other important factors, both the countries carry a 4 point each, where Australia leads on beaches, proximity to Asian countries, and the climate conditions. And last point which I forget to talk about is driving. In Australia, it is a right-hand side driving. In Canada, it is the left-hand side driving. So Australia is leading here, because we Indians have a habit of driving to the right-hand side. These are very small aspects, but as you know, that these are big countries and we need to know how to drive. So this can really make a lot of impact on your day-to-day budgets as well. So the last is a PR. If you are a PR, your focus is only on the residency, then no one can come here to the Canadian residency policies. They are very transparent. The time to the PR, Australia takes approximately 18 to 48 months depending on your file, where Canada, once if you're shortlisted in your pool express entry, it takes around 3 to 12 months. So Canada is again one point here, easy to apply. In Australia, you need an Amara agent where to apply, because there are chances that you can commit mistakes. But in Canada, a lot of people can apply by themselves. So it's a very easy and very transparent process which Canadian government has kept. So Canada again get 1 point. So Canada is leading 2-0. If you talking about to track your file, in Australia there is no option available, but in Canada there are options. So again you will have a 1 point here. So Canada is again leading by 3-0. Expenses, Australia has a lot of big embassy fees around. If you're going with a family, or then you have to pay a lot more. Embassy fee is, in let's say if you're applying single, around $6,000 approximately. With Canada it is just $2,000. So very for a family, so it is like very reasonable. So transparency is good in both the countries. So here Canada is leading almost 5-0 when it comes to the PR. So if I will in totality, if I will look at the last slide of my presentation, I would say job opportunity, Australia is leading, Canada takes 0 and Australia is 1. Cost of living, both the countries are equal. Other important factors, both the countries are equal. Healthcare, Australia is leading, Canada is 0. Like the last point, the PR, the moment we talk about PR, the Canada is leading. So, but in overall result, if you look at a lifestyle, I would say Australia has just win this battle between where you can go and settle down, because it's a beautiful country, and Australia is 4, Canada is 3. So overall, Australia is the winner over Canada. I hope you will like my assessment, and it will make your life a little easier, way to apply, and how to obviously you can go and talk to your agent. This is purely my assessment and my point of view, and in case if you like my video, you can press the bell icon, you will get the notifications. Thank you so much.